think there's really four key parts to these things that I want to put together. And I'm not suggesting this is the only way to do it. This is just after a lot of practice, a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad introductions that I've found that has worked well for me. So I just thought I'd throw it out there, and you can take it and run with it and tweak it however works best for you. So the opening paragraph, I typically like to be short and concise and descriptive of me and the company. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is the problem I solve. So think of this as like your elevator pitch. The first paragraph is really all about what you're doing right now. If someone were to ask you in the hallway, what do you do? This is the kind of information that will be up there. This is really one of the first times you get to advertise for yourself, because I like to let them know, hey, if you like my stuff, you can hire me as a keynote speaker, or you can come to one of our workshops, or you can participate in one of our coaching programs. So they know right off the bat, I don't have to sell them on it. They know I'm available to do all these sorts of things. So I like to do that and focus on who I am, what I'm doing, and the services that we offer, and the solutions that we provide in that opening paragraph. In the next paragraph, I like to do a little more of the background. This is typically where most people start. I like to come out swinging a little bit more and really get their attention. And then in this part, I like to share my experience. And, for me, I've chosen to be very transparent. I've been bankrupt and I've been a millionaire. Both are very uncomfortable for me to talk about, but both are true. And so after a lot of long talks with my mentor, we arrived at putting both in there. And it's important. If I have a different type of audience, I either put both or I put none. But I rarely will just put one or the other. So I think transparency in your experience is good. And this is where you've got to do some creative writing. This is where you need to be a good copywriter or find a good one, because you have great experience. You've just got to figure out a way to convey it in a way that really adds credibility to you. We want to position you as the expert, and this paragraph is really what does that. Being able to stand there and say, I've started and built 4 different companies. They grossed 10 million annually. Now, my largest company only grossed $6 to $7 million annually. But combined, 10 million is a kind of a magic number. It's a round number. So in looking back and looking at all the pieces, I thought, hey, combined, it was actually about 10 million. So it sounds a little more impressive. It's still true. So you just got to find some ways to move the words around. And we're writing an introduction. This is a marketing piece, right? And then I like to share the industries. If you are speaking to a specific industry, you might limit it to that industry. If you are speaking to many industries, sometimes I can help because it might connect you to more people in the room. The insurance guys or the real estate folks might go, oh, okay, he's one of us. So the experience, the credibility is really the key in that second paragraph. In the third paragraph, there's a couple of things I like to do. This is kind of where we're rounding the thing out. In the beginning of it, I choose to do the horn tooting here, right? So this is where I kind of list some awards, some things I'm proud of, some accomplishments. I know for a lot of us, myself included, it's hard for me to listen to this when I'm being introduced. It's hard for me to write it. It was hard for me to think about it, like, what have I done? But you'd be surprised what you've done, what you've accomplished, and you've got to talk about it, because if you don't, they won't know. And that might be the difference between them hiring you or not hiring you, or listening to you for the next 30, 45 minutes, or not listening to you. You'd be surprised. So I list some accomplishments, do a little horn tooting there, and then I also like to list something personal. So at the very end, I kind of wrap it up, and it kind of softens the mood a little bit, because it's not just about Brian's this and Brian's that and he's done this and he's done that. I try and interject in the experience part some transparency about some mistakes I've made, and at the end I interject some personal stuff where I talk about my dream wife and my kids, which are all true. I do have a dream wife and I have 3 awesome children. This obviously was written before we had our baby girl Presley, so I've updated my introduction since then. And here's really funny part. Okay, this might seem kind of weird, but at the very bottom it says, "Please help me welcome Brian Sharp." Now you might wonder why I would put something on there like that. I didn't used to do that, and then people would get to the very bottom of the introduction, and then they kind of turn at you and go, "Okay," you literally have to tell them what to say. I don't know if you've seen the Anchorman. The joke in there is that Ron Burgundy, the Anchorman, would read anything on the teleprompter. So people doing introductions will, generally speaking, hopefully, read whatever you write. So put it on there, help them make the transition, because some of them just don't know what to do. And if they're in that second category where they just want to sit down, if that last sentence isn't in there, they'll say, "And a baby girl on the way." Boom, they're gone. And it's like this awkward, "Okay, I guess it's my turn." So definitely encourage you to have some sort of transitional sentence at the very end, and it again helps kind of set the tone for the event. So these are the different parts. There's not any secret here. I just think these are the different parts of the formula, and this is what helps me. So take it, tweak it, use it, don't use it, but I want to make sure you understand that the introduction is so important. Think about this. If you have a 15 or 20-minute talk, and this is free time too, so you get an extra minute or 2 minutes. I mean, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Heck, 2 minutes in a 20-minute talk, that's 10% of your time. So 2 minutes is valuable, and 2 minutes of an independent party talking about you before you take the stage is really impressive. So next time you watch a speaker introduced, look at the audience and see what their reaction is as they go through the introduction. And just as importantly, think about what you would like to say or how you would have done it if you were that same speaker, because I think you'll find you'll never listen to an introduction the same way again. So hopefully that's helpful. You can certainly print this out and use it as a sample, but those are some key areas I would focus in on.